Hi students, Nurse Stephanie here with another video. Today we're going to talk about our ears. But first, I just wanted to say that I've been so lucky these past 2 weeks to be able to pop into some of your Google Classmates. So when you're meeting with your teachers, you might see me pop in, say hi. I'm so proud of all of you guys for accomplishing your work at home. I know it is incredibly hard. I have a child at home as well, and it is a very hard thing to do schoolwork from home. And I'm super proud of you guys and for showing your parents what we already know at school, that you guys are amazing students and super smart. And we're so proud that you have an opportunity now to show your parents what great students that you are. So today we are going to talk about our ears. I see a lot of kids in my office that come in with questions about their ears, concerns about their ears. Their ears feel funny, they feel weird, maybe they even hurt a little bit. And there's a couple of reasons why that happens. So when you were smaller, so if any of you kids have siblings at home that are tiny, maybe, less than a year old, as we start to get teeth, when our teeth come in, that can sometimes hurt our ears. But even as we get older into the younger elementary grades too, some of you students might be getting some of those big teeth in the back. I think my friend Josie, if she's watching, was telling me about her molars coming in, her 6-year-old molars. Those are big teeth, and when they come in through our gums, it can cause a lot of pain. So everything in here is all connected. So our ears, our nose, and our throat are all connected to each other. So if you had to go see a special doctor for a problem with any of those things, it's actually called an ENT, which stands for ears, nose, and throat, because everything's all connected. And when we have pain in one of those parts of our body, it might not actually be that part, but one of the other parts that it's connected to. And that is actually called referred pain. So we can also have a sore throat, which might cause some ear pain or discomfort. We can also have blocked ears. So you can get some fluid buildup behind your ears, and that's okay. It takes a little while to go away. Your parents at home or your family might give you some pain medication. They might not, depending how bad. And you can also put warm packs on your ears as well. And for my friends who have come into my office, know that that's one of the things that Nurse Stephanie does for you guys in our office when you have some ear pain. But sometimes that fluid behind our eardrums can actually grow some virus and bacteria, and then we have what's called an ear infection. So your doctor at that point might give you some medication to take. It might be a pill if you can take a pill. It might be some liquid. It might be some drops in your ears. And it's always important that if your doctor gives you that medication, to take all of it to make sure that your ears are healthy and not growing any more germs back there. There's also another type of thing called swimmer's ear, which is super interesting. And it does not always mean that you get it from swimming, but it just means that you have an infection in the outer part of your ear. And for that, they usually give some drops for it. And it feels weird to put drops in your ears, but it definitely is helpful. Another thing, too, while we're talking about school and ear pain or problems with our ears, is that sometimes when we have that fluid that's built up behind our ears, that can sometimes change the way that we hear things. So we might not be able to hear our teacher as normally. And if your desk or your chair is way in the back of the classroom, you're going to say, well, what is my teacher saying? I can't hear her. So it's important to make sure that you tell your teacher, I have an ear infection. I'm taking some medicine. Can I sit closer until this kind of clears up a little bit? And Nurse Stephanie checks everybody's hearing every year too, because that's one of the things that helps us learn. We learn through our eyes and we learn through our ears. So we want to make sure that all of our little friends at school are hearing really well so they can hear instruction. We can hear the fire alarms. We can hear announcements. We want to make sure that our ears are in good working order to be learning at school. And sometimes too, I do have students that come in and say, "Oh, Nurse Stephanie, when I yawned or make like a sneeze, my ears feel funny." And it's true, that's all absolutely normal. It's just pressure changes because those tubes are all connected. So that's going to cause a funny feeling in your ears, like a popping feeling, or if any of you have ever been on an airplane, you can sometimes feel that pressure inside of your ears. It doesn't feel very good. But it's usually temporary, and it's most of the time it's normal and there's nothing wrong with your ear. So just some fun facts about ears. So your inner ears are actually responsible not only for your hearing, but also for your balance. So for some people that have problems with their inner ears, they might feel dizzy or feel like they have been spinning around, or maybe that they're going to fall over. And sometimes that almost makes people feel like kind of like they want to throw up a little bit too. So that's interesting. And the middle of your ear, the inside, has the 3 smallest bones in your body. So if you take all of these bones together and put them all together, they will actually fit on a penny. This is how small they are. All 3 together fit on a penny. And those bones all together are responsible for our hearing. Also, important, ears are self-cleaning. They produce that wax, we all know what that is, and that protects our ears from dust, dirt, and friction. You don't want to take the wax really out of the inside of your ears because the little tiny hairs inside of your ears will actually push that wax out all on its own, and then when it gets to the outside of your ear, you can clean it if there's a little bit extra there. If you remember, my grandmother used to tell me all the time, do not put anything in your ear smaller than your elbow. So we all know about Q-tips. What you don't want to be doing is jamming your Q-tip inside your ear, right? Especially you want to ask a family member, an adult family member at home to help you clean your ears if you feel like they need to be cleaned, but you can actually use that Q-tip just to clean the outer part of your ear, not be jamming anything in your ear. And kids, never put anything in your ear, like beads, food, or anything like that. It's just not a good idea because it's really hard for your nurses and doctors to kind of fetch that out. So, with that said, I'm going to go on to my very last thing, which is a super fun craft, because you guys know that I love to give you craft projects and fun projects and stuff to do at home. But I'm also going to talk a little bit about animal adaptations while we do that. So, you're probably wondering, what do animals have to do with ears? Well, animals have ears too, and especially animals in the wild or even our pets, their ears actually help them survive. That's called an adaptation, and I'm sure some of you have studied that in class. When you have an animal that has changes in its body, whether it's camouflage or whether it's a body part, that will help them survive or do their job better. So I want you guys to think about working dogs. We all know what working dogs are. Those are dogs that have a job. And Nurse Stephanie loves dogs, if you didn't know that already. On my contact form on my website, you'll actually see a picture of me with my dog. Her name is Stella. And my philosophy about dogs is the bigger the better. So I love some big dogs. But if you know that there are some police officers, detectives, investigators, they use a couple of different breeds of dogs in their work. And each of these breeds has different characteristics that makes them really, really good at what they do. Some dogs have ears that stand really straight up in the air. So you have German Shepherds, you have Belgian Malinois. Those dogs are really, really good at listening for things, and those ears are really high up in the air, and they have really good hearing. And their ears can kind of also pivot from side to side. And that helps them listen when they're out tracking suspects. They can listen for noises like cracking branches and things that we can't hear, or even police officers can't hear. But their ears will help them detect noises and movement, and then they tell their partner or their handler that they can detect movement, and then they will go and track someone. So that is one adaptation for those particular dogs that makes them really, really good at what they do, because their ears are like little cups that capture the sound. If you knew, we do have a police dog here in town, and his name is Vipo, and he is a German Shepherd. I want to say he's almost 6, I think. He is super smart. If you've ever gone to any of the Public Safety Day demonstrations, his handler is always doing demonstrations with him there to show you guys how super smart that he can be to help keep our community safe. Other police departments will actually use these super cool dogs called bloodhounds. Now, bloodhounds maybe don't have the best hearing that the German Shepherds do, but what they do have is really good sniffers. And if you watched my last video, you would know all about noses because we talked about that. But they have really good noses, but their ears are a little bit different if you've ever seen a picture of a bloodhound. I did put a picture of those two dogs so you can see the comparison up on my website as well. So on a bloodhound, those ears are super long and floppy and they kind of hang really low to the ground. Now you might think, whoa, that's weird because it blocks the sound a little bit. And you're right, because their hearing is not as good as those German Shepherds who have those ears way up here. But what their ears do to help them do their job is as those bloodhounds are sniffing low to the ground, those ears are flapping and they're wafting that scent right up into their face to help them be able to track people a lot better. So if you have a police unit that is maybe looking for someone or looking for something by smell, those dogs are going to be really good for that because their big old floppy ears are acting like fans to help push that smell right up into their noses so that way they can then tell their officers exactly where to find what it is that they're looking for. So it's kind of interesting because you can see how their different adaptations help them do their jobs a little bit better. So even though those bloodhounds have super good sniffers instead of really good ears, their ears are still helping their sniffers do a really good job of finding what it is that they're looking for. So lastly, I think it would be super fun if you guys were able to make your own animal ears. I made dog ears because I love me some dogs. But you don't have to make dog ears. You can make elephant ears. You can make people ears if you want. You can make any kind of ears that you want. That's how beautiful it is about being creative and fun. So all I did was take some construction paper and I folded it in half, right? And I cut it down the middle and I took those two pieces together to make like a headband because Nurse Stephanie has a big head. I like to think it's because I got a big brain in there, but you know. So once I had that headband done, I just traced some ears out on the paper and then I stapled them to my headband. So I made these ears. How fun is this, right? Check this out. Oh, look at these guys. So these ears right here are reminding me of those German Shepherd ears that we talked about. So you can see I even put the little hairs in there. I got the pink on the inside and my ears stick straight up in the air and I'm ready to hear anything I might need to hear. You can make some bloodhound ears. You can make some Dalmatian ears. You can make any kind of ears that you want. This is the beautiful thing about being creative um, and making your own animals. So I love to see them if you want to send them to me. Thank you guys for continuing to send me emails and pictures and keeping in touch with me because I know it's hard while we are away from all the things that we love very much, including one another. And I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that we can get back to school super soon because I miss all of you. And I hope to see you guys real soon. See you soon. Bye-bye.